It's been happening.
How are you?
You know, undefeated. I love this time of year. This time of year is my favorite time of year. You know, I get to stop fundraising, recruiting, everything else that goes on with the job and coach. And you know, I love practice and player development way more than games.
Speaking of coaching, you've got really 8 freshmen. But
8, it's crazy, right?
Yeah. So
eligibility standpoints, yeah. I mean, you know, Mac and Will,
yeah,
plus the 2 non-scholars.
Yeah. So
it's a lot of teaching.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So is it more like early stage teaching than maybe you've done since you first got here?
I'm hoping that helps us too. You know, we talked about it as a staff, and I've just told myself, look, you don't have a returning Final Four team. Like these guys don't know, and you know, as a head coach, you got to remind yourself, because this is my 20th year, and I take myself back to it. Not that they listened, but I worked for 2 Hall of Fame coaches, and I was very young, but I would say, you know, I'd fight them all sometimes, say we're moving too fast, we're reviewing, we have things we haven't taught. So we've really started basically, because defensive principles are things, you know. Amari Bailey don't need a lot of help on offense, guys. You know, being honest with you. I mean, you know, but defense is a different world.
And you talked about pressing more potentially this season.
Yeah, we're not there. We did. I don't know what day it is, man.
Thursday.
We did our last practice. So we did we did that. We do a thing like every 5th day. I force myself to do zone offense, zone defense, press. You know, but we've been extremely in major teaching mode. To answer your question, you know, like ball, see man. You know, every A to Z. Because like you said, 8 guys that just don't, you know, they haven't been trained. So I always say they're trained or untrained. If they're untrained, it's our job to train them.
And Rod said the other day that, you know, you've been stopping practice, teaching, scolding, restarting, all that kind of stuff.
Well, the interesting thing too with freshmen is, you know, they've never practiced this hard and been taught this much. So their brain, you know, you look at a guy and you can just see that his brain is just completely fried. Like, you know, you're like, and it's hard for them to stay focused and keep listening. I mean, you know, how to practice, how to pay attention is a major league skill. And that's where, you know, there's so few guys that can come in their first year in any sport, at any level, at this level, at the pro level, and impact winning in their first year. It's so hard. Can you physically compete? Can you mentally compete at a whole nother level? You know, getting some points, it doesn't mean you're impacting winning. So, and that's what we're trying to teach these guys how to do every day. So, you know, I put it on us. It's our job to get them there. It's their job but they have to be receptive, because your rate of progress depends on your focus level. And your, you know, if you're not a sponge, it's hard. It's just, you know, a lot of college players, man, you guys write articles. I don't. Think about all the guys you've interviewed in time over years. I'm talking about their junior, senior year, and they've said, man, you know, I wish I knew now what I knew as a freshman what I know now. You know, I'd have paid attention more. I'd have rested more. You know, like, so they need to do that now, because we have some guys that aren't going to be here their junior year. So they need to impact winning while they're here. And the only way they're going to do that is to be able to compete like a veteran player. So that's what we're practicing. It's a lot of teaching. Here we teach how to, you know, you teach how we do things, but also I'm very big on teaching how to compete physically. You know, you got to give everything you have.
You know, I want to ask impressions of each guy.
Yeah.
But we could be here for a long time. But how about just the new guys, your first eyes on them?
Well, I'll give you, Will and Mac are not in full speed yet.
Okay.
Mac's ahead of Will. Obviously hoping to have both of them, you know, every day. Tyler gives me updates, our trainer. And then, you know, the scholarship guys, you know, Abramo obviously got here later, so he's got more to learn. Then Dylan and Amari and the Dem have all been awesome. Like they're really good players. It's just, so my focus is, I would say that we have much more playmaking on this team because of Dylan and Amari. Throw in Jalen Clark, who looks to pass the ball. And it's just a DNA. It's not a knock on anybody. I mean, Jules and Johnny, without their scoring, we weren't going to be who we were. But Dylan, Amari, Dave has always been a willing passer. Like we have, I don't have to force ball movement as much on this team. We got guys can create shots. Dylan's the fastest guy I've coached with the ball in my time.
Your entire time, fastest guy with the ball.
27 years in college.
Wow.
Yeah, were you expecting?
I've been good. What's that?
Were you expecting?
Yeah. He's really fast with the ball. And he's such a good kid. He's an unbelievable kid. I've asked the guys that have been around here. So when you see us, I've had, like Chris Carlson's been around, too many different positions at UCLA, to compare it. Because I knew Darren Collison from afar was fast with the ball here.
Tyus, maybe?
Tyus. But, I didn't want to go that far back. I know Tyus.
I'm old.
Yeah, I know. Like Tyus now, I look at it like me, we need to play golf. So anyway, Dylan's, I think, what I would say, recruiting rankings are for you guys. I don't know where Dylan was rated, and I know fans get caught up in that stuff, but, he's a lost, probably because of Dem and Amari rated so high. And they should be. I mean, they got tremendous talent, but Dylan's probably the guy that's really gotten lost in the shuffle with, the hype or whatever. Nobody ever asked me about him. That's why I brought him up first.
Okay.
Everybody goes right to the Dem and Amari.
Okay, let's go there.
Yeah. Amari is a tremendous passer. He's really hard to keep out of the lane. He's got great size. I don't want to compare him to Lonzo. That's not fair. But I haven't had a guy that he can make passes. I've had taller guys that can pass, but they're not elite athletes that you can't stand in front of. So he can make passes Tiger can't make because he can see it, because of his size. He can get in the lane and find shooters in the opposite corner over the top of people that Tiger couldn't even see him. He might see him, but he can't get him the ball. So he can really break the defense down. And he's got a super competitive streak. The thing, like the elite guys that hopefully can impact winning as freshmen, they can physically compete, and their talent can supersede their inexperience. So, and he is such a physical specimen. And Amari's he's an anomaly for this day and age. He's 18, doesn't turn 19 till February. He's younger than guys we're recruiting. So to be the physical specimen he is at a young age, that's what has him impressed me the most. That he can physically compete and he doesn't get tired. We'll see. It's still early though. It's October 6th. I better know what day it is, especially today.
What do you like about Abramo?
Abramo is highly competitive, which, if you know me, that's what I'm all about. So I think if you play hard and work hard, obviously you have to have some talent. So Abramo's 6'6", he's very athletic, and he plays hard. And when you play hard and you compete physically and you have a good attitude, you're going to be a good player.
Yeah. The fact that he played already 4 years at professional level,
yeah.
you can say, because
it's
different compared to the kids that play high school, or you want to adapt them to this style of play?
I think it's interesting. I was wondering how that effect, what effect, if any, that would have. He's definitely, you can tell he's played against older guys because the physical, even though he's not a stout built guy, he's put on 15 pounds since he's gotten here. But he got sick at the World Championships at 20 and under, lost a bunch of weight. But he is he's competitive. I have a belief, and I was right on Jules when people were all over Jules early in his career. guards that'll go rebound always turn out to be good players. And Bramo goes, he goes after every ball. If you don't box him out, he's a great offensive rebounder, which tells you athleticism is irrelevant if you don't use it. He uses his athleticism. I think, as the more he gets adjusted, he's going to have a great career here. He's going to have a great career. He's not a one and done guy by any stretch, but we don't need that. That's not those that follow us paid to follow us in recruiting. No, I believe you got to have some guys who are going to be in your program. So he's got a bright future here.
What there is behind this international recruiting? Obviously, we go in.
Yeah.
I think implement.
Oh, there's definitely.
The things that you like is the thing that you were pushing in the.
I've wanted to do it a long time,
okay.
And never could get anything done because I realized, in international recruiting, you have to have takes a lot of time and commitment, but you got to have connections.
Yeah,
you can walk in and I can walk in and people are nice to me. The problem is they know the other guy 20 years. It's a little, it's no different, it's no different than anything else in our walk of life. So, but I do think, the game has become international. I've thought that for a while. I'm at a worldwide, UCLA's got a worldwide brand. It's the perfect place to be able to recruit internationally. It's a recruiting pitch, but if I'm an international student and I'm going to come to the United States, I think I'd rather come to Hollywood and LA than in some of these other places. So, we have built-in advantages. We have an international student body here. But the advantages of maybe why international kids, I think they've faced reality because they don't play scholastically. They play against the pros. So they know.
Ramo was playing second division in Italy, 16, 15.
They know that, but that tells them the truth.
Yeah.
Like they know they have to get better. Sometimes the American kids, our system is so messed up. They don't have any sense of reality. And until you can play every day against pros, you don't realize that you're not a pro. Like the international, they know. You're 17, and all you have to do is go back and look at Brandon Jennings when he went
to
Italy.
Yeah,
he
remember.
Averaged 4 points a game.
Yeah, he was playing with Rhino Mines. So
right, so it's hard. So those kids have had a dose of reality. They've had great coaching because they don't have the scholastic restrictions of, that our high school coaches have massive restrictions. So there's just a lot of pluses to it. All you gotta do is watch the Olympics, the last 4 Olympics where we're life and death to win is the United States. Tells you how the international game has become. So hopefully we're just getting started.
So you expect more in the
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You knew what you were getting with the Den to a degree, but now that you've seen him all summer, has there been an element of surprise in certain elements of his game of what he brings to the court?
Yeah. Look at Dem's. I would say on the AAU circuit had the folklore of this guy again. He had played against professionals. His competitive spirit, second to none, and that whether it's his energy, smiles, dunks, block shots, similar to a Kevin Garnett personality-wise. He's not near as tall, but it's just infectious for your team. Aside from having a guy that good around on your team, having a guy that every day is in a great smile, great attitude, always has energy, can't wait to listen, can't wait to be taught. Which is why he's come a long way this summer in a hurry with Coach Savino. Is such an elite teacher with big guys. Darren, in my opinion, he's become as good as there is. That at Dem's rate of progress, because his talent level and his attitude has been really, really impressive. He's better offensively than I thought.
And you have, you talk about all these freshmen and all these guys you have coming in. You got veterans on this squad, and
5 guys have been to the Final Four.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking to Tiger and Jaime, they talked about they feel like they need to be the leaders. They need to teach these guys. This is how we do things. Have you seen that out of them? Has it been like an unspoken thing where you're just seeing those leadership qualities come out of Tiger and Jaime?
Well, I've been more vocal about that because I haven't had a team like this with such a gap. That they like, for us to be great, they have to be like me. They have to help these guys. And I can help them during the dead ball coaching them, but during live play they have to help them. You're in a defensive screening situation, and it's Tiger and Amari. Tiger's just got to tell him what to do. I mean, and it's going to have to go that way all year. Same with Dave. And I've been real clear to the freshmen, it's their job to just listen. But these guys, we had such a veteran team that I hadn't had to harp on that as much as I've told Tiger, Dave, Jalen Clark, Jaime and Kenny, like they have to help these guys. Like you can't, you're not playing with Jules. This guy is untrained. He is in his second week of practice. He does not know what he's doing. And he's tired. He's never practiced this hard. He's never had coaches so demanding. He needs your help. So for them, like they haven't been in this position. So they're adjusting to that too, to be more vocal, to have to, help those guys.
And all the talk, on the offseason, these guys coming back, it was all about, we're chasing banner number 12. And I know.
But that's every year here.
Obviously, it's the end goal. And it kind of feels like, this feels like, this is the year to do it.
How glad you feel that way.
Are you kind of trying to stray away from like, let's think short-term goals first and kind of work our way to there? Or
we don't talk about that stuff. I mean, look, here, you don't come to school here. This isn't for everybody. Some guys want to shoot every ball and put their name in a draft. They're not coming here. I think I made it clear, I tried to at least when I got the job, that you come here, the responsibility is to play to win and uphold the tradition. You get to go to school here, which is by far the best place. Not that I probably had to have a little more discipline to get in here, but if I could do it all over again, if you could pick a school, this is the best place. It's not even close. So for an 18-year-old, so if we're going to let you put this jersey on, these 4 letters, you're going to play to win. So that's every year here. I would say to you, I mean, you want reality about how many times are you going to have 2 seniors that are potential All-Americans. I think Jaime, somebody told me, is on. I mean, I'm sure he will.
Yeah,
I think Tiger.
A lot of preseason polls, yeah.
But yeah, preseasons, for people, it's kind of like. Winners go out to eat, losers talk about the officials. Winners are worried about what they did, they're still playing, and the losers are talking about where they were ranked in the preseason. So, but I think Jaime and Tiger can both end up All-Americans. It's rare you have 2 seniors that good, very, very rare. And then Dave's back, he's the ultimate team guy and lead shooter. Jalen Clark and Kenny, so 5 Final Four guys playing the Final Four. You don't have that every day. I know, I'm well aware of that. So. But you just got to take it. You just got to try to have one good day at a time, one good practice at a time.